Go some questions.
Hey, Buzz, just get to this right away. Just what does it say about your guys? You think that not only did y'all win, but overcame, I guess some might call them 3 questionable calls. I know you're not going to talk about the calls, but 3 questionable calls toward the end of regulation and toward the end of overtime, and still y'all were able to, beat number 16 in the country.
Thank you. I think it's just the exact opposite of what happened here last Saturday. Different opponent, but how we operated, how we worked, how we competed was more aligned with who we have to be. And in truth, I thought we did that, as I told you guys yesterday, I thought we did that at Auburn. It's a tie ball game at Auburn with 4 minutes to play. I think it looks a lot more aesthetically pleasing when you make shots. I understand that. But we shot 14% in overtime. But I think from the beginning, throughout the 45 minutes, in truth, I thought that it's kind of what we've done and how we've built things. It's why we went 15-3 last year. We've never beat Kentucky. I am not near the coach that Coach is. I love Coach. I've always loved Coach. They have way better players. They have 4 one-and-done guys, and I'm not sure that 12's not their best player. And so we have good players, but all of the intangible things are categories within our program that at least give us a chance. That's why we got beat from start to finish against LSU, and that's what gave us a chance at Auburn.
Coach Calipari said that he told his team that y'all were a desperate team. Were y'all a desperate team?
Well, I just you can judge that. I can't coach anybody's team. Whatever coach says is that's worthy because of who he is. I hope that we play with some level of desperation and that level of competitive character regardless. We didn't on Saturday. I thought we did on Tuesday. And as we talked yesterday, we didn't play that away at Arkansas last year after the safari that we went on. I thought we did that at Mississippi State last year. I thought we played really hard last year at Kentucky as well. But I think that's who we have to be.
What difference did you see in Tyrese today and feel like he's finally back to where he was?
Well, it's the first time in a long time we've had our group. I thought Solo was arguably player of the game. Probably played more minutes than he was ready to play. But I do think that when you sit out for a significant period of time, no matter how talented you are and how well you want to play, you've missed a lot of reps. You've missed a lot of game reps. You've missed a lot of practice reps. And there's some level of, you need to accumulate some level of game type speed. And I thought Boots was Boots for sure.
You mentioned Solo. Energy was the difference between the games. How much of a percentile is his addition into it to boosting the whole team's energy?
You can for sure have an argument that Solo is our best defender. I would say that's what he cares the most about. He's a strong athlete with size that can guard whoever you want to guard. And he has a distinct presence on the glass on both ends of the floor. That is not why we lost to LSU. We would have lost to LSU regardless of if he played or not with the mentality that we had. But the other part, Travis, is I think they're, like every team in this league, you're working 6 days a week. And for the most part, 2 of those 6, you're going to be in somebody else's hotel, in somebody else's gym. And so when you lose a significant player, it's the reps from that game, but it's also the reps in the 2 days that you practice leading up to that game. And so when there's multiple games that a player misses, it's not just the games, it's the reps in the 4 practice days. I thought his energy was tremendous. His length, he can guard a perimeter player. All of their perimeter players are bigger, faster, stronger than ours. But at least when he's on you, it's a push because he's not going to be overwhelmed by your speed or athleticism or length. And then because of those things, you'd have to look in the deal, but I would say at about the 12-ish minute mark of the second half, they were destroying us in the second half on the glass. In the first half, I think we had 43% offensive rebound percentage, pretty good against a team as talented as they are. We had 80% defensive rebound percentage. That gives us a chance. But then that run, that first 8 minutes, we were not getting any stops whatsoever. A lot of it was because we couldn't finish with a rebound. Number 4 was just wearing us out on the offensive glass. And then we weren't getting any extra shots. So I think Solo helps all of those things. He can guard whoever you want him to guard, and then he has a presence at the rim on both sides.
What was your perspective on the play where Tyrese at the offensive foul? Not maybe if it's right or wrong, but it was, the stands thinks it's an and one, the ball gets stuck in the net. There's just so many things going on in that moment. What was the perspective and how the team kind of bounced from that?
I have to do a better job of being the example to our program and specifically to our guys, even to their parents, on the things that we can control and the things that we can't control. And for the most part, pick a person on our staff, for sure me, pick a player on our team, in my opinion, all of them. They are overachievers in some sort of way. My resume does not suggest that I should be coaching in this league or at this level. And upon arrival, you can say that most of our players fit that category. Whether that's 4, whether that's Henry, who averaged 0.8 and 0.5, Boots when he got to Virginia Tech. I think you can point to we have a bus full of people who have worked incredibly hard to overachieve to have this chance. And I think a portion of the process of overachieving is you have to overcome a lot of things that maybe are not right, maybe are unfair, maybe are things that we're messing up some other plans. And I've got to do a better job of being an example of that. And I thought our guys were a perfect example. And I think there's other things that you could point to from that point that you go, is this right? But that's part of overachieving, is overcoming and giving all of your energy to the things that you can control.
Buzz, could you speak to y'all's team?
Did I do all right on that, J-Mo?
You did great, Coach.
Could you speak just to your
Because you were here and because I respect you.
just your team's defensive effort, particularly in
I thought we were bad.
but in overtime, in the overtime period?
Okay. I thought Wildens really made a difference for our team. Statistically, he didn't. But his size, his girth, his physicality, I mean, we don't have anybody other than Wildens that can look like number 2, look like number 33, maybe have enough length that it appears as though we have a presence at the rim. I thought Wildens was a big part of that. it was one of our worst efforts. I would say on the things that matter that over the next several weeks, I would say when we wake up in the morning, our defensive numbers are going to be significantly down. We moved up a lot at Auburn. I think we moved up 13 spots. We're about to move down 13 spots. They're just so potent offensively. 14th fastest team, number one in three-point field goal percentage. They play super duper fast, and we couldn't. I think we played the entire game and got 3 turkeys, and we played 45 minutes.
And yet, as all the stats about their offense, they don't get a field goal in the overtime period.
We only got one, though.
Well,
I mean, you know, it's like,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
They're-
Well, we're probably better if you only have to make one. You know, like if you got to make a bunch, the odds are probably against us. Yeah, I think we may have made more free throws than they did in the overtime.
Buzz, how special was your backcourt, especially coming off the last 2 games, struggling shooting, and then to have Tyrese and Wade, you know, hit some big shots for.
Yeah, I know this sounds condescending, and I'm trying to be very measured in my words. But whether they make a bunch of shots or miss a bunch of shots, I love them. And we would be foolish, whether we win or lose, to think that we would even be close to being in this position without what Four and Boots have done. And so if Four goes 2-16 and 0-8 at Auburn, everybody can say we can't shoot and I can't coach and throw it inside and all those things that everybody asks me. I'm never going to betray my relationship with those guys or with their family. And if that means I'm not coaching here, I promise you I'm fine with that, because I understand that who those guys are has a direct impact on my children. I want them to make shots. I'm going to try to help them make shots. They work every day at making shots. I understand that today we made shots, and that gave us a chance. But whether they make them or miss them, it's not going to alter how I coach them. It's not going to alter my relationship with them. And like I said to you guys when the lady that's normally in here, not her, the other one, on Friday, he wants to do well, not for himself. He wants to do well. They want to do well for one another. And I think that's what makes our sauce special.
Coach, how much
Hey, good to see you. That was the guy I was talking about that day.
Yeah.
Remember when we were talking that one day? That's him. Thanks for coming.
Thanks. How much did you feel like your players' energy throughout the game today, just the consistency of that played a factor?
I thought that when I walked in the locker room Tuesday night after the game, I said, I feel completely different than I did Saturday night after the game. Do you guys? And they said yes. I said the results say that we're 0-2, but I think that what we did tonight is dramatically different than what we did on Saturday. So not because of Coach Saban, not because of Bill Walsh, but let's be consumed with doing our best on what's next. Well, we found out shortly thereafter what was next was we were going to spend another night in Auburn. We were a little behind in preparation because we didn't get back till late Wednesday afternoon. I think we've done all of the right things on Thursday. I think we did the right things yesterday. I thought shoot around this morning was really good. And they're so fast that you have to start real fast because they can overwhelm you immediately and you never have a chance. And so I told our guys that. They knew that. We practiced differently at the start of practice. And so basically we flipped the practice plan. We just flipped it upside down. How we normally start practice is how we end practice. And how we normally end practice is how we started practice, just in hopes that the change would bring awareness to our mentality and what was required from the beginning.
What does this win mean for you?
Well, I've never won. Coach was nice. When I was at Tech, I begged him to play us, and that worked out. I think we had 19 turnovers, and I think we lost by 9. 5, that's the only other player I've ever called by his number. 5 was kicking that ball all over the gym. Played really well. Coach Raveling was at the game. I'm thankful that how we played on Tuesday is how we played today. And I'm hopeful that we can continue on this path of the things that we have built relative to what's important in our program. And I hope that we can carry that to Fayetteville whenever we get there.
All right, that's a wrap. Thanks, everybody.